everybody almost. Okay, so we're just gonna do a breakdown. Everyone can hear me, right? Okay, in the concert, I'm kind of hoarse a little bit, so bear with me. Also warning, I might mispronounce things because I get a little lazy after a while. So I'll pronounce it right the first time, and then after that, it's all downhill from there. Okay, so I'm Nico, Anti-Prince Cosplay. If you follow my cosplay page, I don't know how many of you do. So I'm doing a Visual Kei 101 panel, so I'm just going to gloss over some history, break down the subgenre of Visual Kei, show you some PVs and stuff, so some examples, so you know what each thing is, and also I'm trying to calm down. So if I'm going too fast, tell me, slow down, okay? All right. Thank you. Did anyone go see Pentagon in Dallas this year? No? No? Oh.
I had to choose between Pentagon and Avonchick.
Yeah, that's me too. And here I sit.
We're terrible people.
Yes, we
Yes!
did it.
Okay, so I'm sure you're ready. Are you guys ready to rock? Yeah. Okay.
Make some noise.
Okay. All right, so what is Visual Kei for you guys who aren't familiar with it? It's kind of a combination of style and its type of music genre. So think of like glam rock, beautiful costumes, androgyny, lots of sparkle and flash, and lots of choreography and whatnot. So VK started like in the mid-'80s with legendary bands X Japan, Derlinger, Buckchick, Lunacy. That picture is not X Japan, by the way. It's Derlinger, one of my favorite old school bands. A magazine quoted that X Japan started the Visual Kei movement with their psychedelic violence crime of visual shock. So pretty much Visual Kei is inspired by glam metal, punk, gothic rock. Think of like, you know, Kiss and I'm blinking right here. That band that, oh God, can't think of his name. This big hair, dated Kat Von D, that guy.
Nikki Six.
Yeah, Molly Crew. There you go. Sorry, early morning. So think of that, kind of pretty much what that looks like. So our 80s is their 90s. So they're characterized by like big flashy costumes, attire, hairstyles, so lots and lots of hairspray, and goodbye ozone layer. So this is X Japan, obligatory X Japan picture. So it got popular in mid-'90s. It became kind of mainstreamish because it was shown on like live television shows like Breakout and Hot Wave, so you get your concerts and your interviews from each band member. It was also the birth of Free Will and some other labels, so homes of Duran Gray, Shawsnell, The Arc-en-Ciel, Malice Meezer. So that's Malice Meezer over there. Gact era, because Claw era is not as good as Gact era. Obligatory Duran Gray picture, because they're necessary. So we come into the early 2000s, everything's kind of toned down a little bit, less big hair, flashy costumes. There's a lot of disbandments that happened, but Visual Kei became more underground. It's more of a niche genre now, so they're a little bit more metalcore, westernized, influenced, more alternative metal and punk. So if you hear Visual Kei and it's like, oh, it sounds like such and such band in America, well, that's the early 2000s to present day. So now we're in this neo-Visual Kei era where a lot of people think that Visual Kei is dead. It's not dead. So that's why this panel is necessary, to prove that Visual Kei is not dead. Let's resurrect it, guys. So most of the, since it's not mainstream in Japan as much, it's more underground, they're doing more intimate gatherings with fans, like in stores and like handshake greetings and pictures and acoustic lives, which is happening today with Avonchick later. And they've also expanded overseas, so they've gone to places like Europe, North America, South America, pretty much anywhere outside of Japan. So it's become a little more global, which is awesome for us. An obligatory Gazette picture, because I know Gazette fans would kill me if I didn't put them in there. So let's break down the Visual Kei subgenre. So I meant to say at the beginning that all J-rock is not Visual Kei, but all Visual Kei is J-rock, pretty much. So there are J-rock bands that are not Visual Kei. They're just regular rock bands like Cold Rain, Crossfaith, Bees. So they're clearly not Visual Kei. So let's start with Enguru Kei or Uruguru Kei. It means underground style. They kind of reject the androgynous aesthetic. They're more focused on like grotesque and erotic and disturbing styles. So like lots of black and blood and like just, yeah, erotic and grotesque. I guess that puts that together. So a lot of them don't consider themselves Visual Kei, but I mean, they're Visual Kei, whether they like it or not. So some examples are Muck and Yugami Circus Dan and Kaliguri, which is on the bottom there. So I'm gonna actually do something different. I'm gonna take a vote. Which band should I show? Muck or Inugami Circus Dan? So raise your hand if you want to see a Muck video. What about Inugami Circus Dan? Okay, we'll do Inugami Circus Dan. Okay, so this is Inugami Circus Dan. They're led by a female-fronted vocalist, and the song is Hontane Hontane Kokoro-san. They've also been in Dallas too, so. Everyone can hear the music, right?
嫌じゃありませんか係長人気者でもある前にダジャレに下ネタ自慢ネタ取引相手も苦笑い本当に本当に本当に本当にご苦労さん嫌じゃありませんか課長さん人の話は聞かないくせに突然会話に割り込んで語るよいつものご用
Styling and how they're dressed is not super flashy. It's very simple. Uniform type outfits. I'm gonna order a Coco the vocalist in white face painting, black eyeliner.
嫌じゃありませんか
Normally she
課
has
長
red
さん
lipstick, it's very cute.
仕事で気がつけばようも子供に捨てられて定年退職一人きり本当に本当に本当に本当にご苦労さん じゃありませんか同僚さん一人だけでは弱いけど大勢になったら調子こき平気で誰かを傷つける本当に本当に本当に本当にご苦労さん
Alright, that's Inugami Circus Dan. They also have an alter ego band called Angelique, and I sadly have all this useless information in my head, so there you go. Alright, so the next genre is Koto-kei, which is old school, so where you saw the ex-Japan and Derlinger pictures with the big giant hair, and they have like the PVC enamel costumes and accessory, that would be your Koto Kei. As you can see, Phantasmagoria, which was the band live that I showed earlier, just to get the mood going, they're considered Koto Kei because of the way what their costumes are made of and the big hair. It's kind of similar to old school styling. So I have some examples of X Japan, Syndrome, and Phantasmagoria. So we're going to do another vote. Who wants to see X Japan? Who wants to see Syndrome? Okay. I'm sad. Syndrome would have been awesome, but we'll do X Japan. It's okay. Weekend. They're still active. Yoshiki does a lot of stuff. The guitarist with the really, really tall hair, that's Hide. He unfortunately passed away. So Sugizo has been taking place, and he's from Lunacy, which is also an awesome band, and his solo work is amazing. So next is Tanbike, which I probably said wrong, and I'm sorry. So it's more European Victorian style, so lots of lace and velvet and fanciful. So think Lolita if you're familiar with Lolita styles. So something from the Victorian era. So their music is very symphonic metal, neoclassical as they'd like to say. So a mixture of like operatic vocals, symphony type music, and a little bit of rock. So your examples are Versailles, Versailles,
Versailles.
sorry. Malice Miser and D, which is picture below. And you guys don't have a choice. You're just going to watch D because that's all I have in this folder that I picked. So. I'm not even going to say the title of the song because it's super, super long, if you can see the file name. It's Yami Yori Kurai Dokoko no Acapella tu Bara Yori Akai Jonitsu no Ana, and I'm not even sure if that's the whole title. So it's D's very first PV. So there is a slight member change, but no big deal. I really like this song, and the PV's amazing. That's the really long title, by the way.
My dear Rose, oh, you are all of me in this world. In now the past and the future, I sing for you.
Vocal range and how it's very operatic, and then the mixture of the metal and the classical elements mixed together. Also famous for the opera. So their look wasn't very super Victorian like it was in the picture that I had in the slide. It's kind of like a bondage Victorian, I suppose, which is cool too. So now we're going to move on to Nagoya Kei, which is something I'm really into right now. So if you're familiar with the city Nagoya, it's pretty much that's where they're from, such as Kyumi, Merry-Go-Round, and Laputa, which I think 2 out of 3 of those are actually disbanded. So they're similar to Anguru Kei and Kota Kei, so their visual isn't super visual, as you can see from this picture of Lynch there. It's very casual and just black. Lots of black. Black's a good color. So they might have lots of tattoos, and they just pretty much look super normal. But the music is very dark and aggressive sometimes, except for, well, I guess out of my examples there, Nine Goats Blackout is pretty chill. They kind of have a heavy sound, but not as heavy as Lynch. They growl a lot, but they do have softer songs with singing and whatnot. So Lynch is my jam right now, so totally check them out. But today I'm going to show you guys Dead Man, which unfortunately they are, I guess, on this indefinite hiatus slash disbandment, which sucks, but they're still a super awesome band. So this PV is Follow the Nightlight by Dead Man. So. So some things to note is they're very monochromatic, simple visuals, and they're kind of atmospheric, kind of somewhat chill, but somewhat dark sound. If you like Dead Man, some of the members are also in the Studs, which unfortunately disbanded too, but they're pretty cool too, and Kaguro. So this one has a couple pronunciations. One site was Osade Kei, but then there's Oshade Kei. So I'm going to say Oshade Kei twice, and then the rest of the time I'm just going to say Oshere Kei, which is totally wrong. Don't say it like that. So, Oshere Kei, or Oshade Kei, means fashionable style, so they're very bright, vibrant, poppy, Harajuku style. If you're used to seeing like Decora Kei and just Fruits, the magazine, stuff like that. So, example is Dog in the POW, Parallel World Orchestra. So they're super colorful, super poppy, punk, happy, bouncy. You see, I'm just dying inside right now. So I like Oshade Kei to a point. I like the dark stuff a little bit more, but I like to brighten it up sometimes. Some examples are LMC. If you are available in August, they're going to be in Anime Fest in Dallas. Sorry. I'm from Texas, by the way. That's why I'm like pimping out Texas right now. Also in Cafe, and of course, Dog at the bottom. So, okay, I'm going to do a vote. Who wants to see Zorro? What about In Cafe? All right, we're going to do In Cafe then. It's an old In Cafe, so don't cry. Also, I have Lolita 23Q. No? In Cafe. Okay. 5-member group. The blonde one, which I swear is a boy, just assume boy otherwise. He left the band, and there's 2 other people in it now. They're still pretty awesome. So now there's Neo Visual or Koto Osa Kei, I guess, which is a mixture of Koto Kei and Oshare Kei. So let's see, we have current Alice 9, now called A9. They left PS Company recently-ish, so now they're A9, and they've toned down before they left PSC, but so that's what they look like. So that's kind of a vague representation of what neo-visual looks like. So they kind of combine Shinjuku and Harajuku street fashion, which I really like that Who's Club look. They sound a little more mainstream rock, like, I guess, think of American rock music, so something similar to that. And they do a lot of fan interactive type choreography, but I think most Visual Kei bands have choreography to their stuff, and it's called Furutsuke. So I'm gonna show you some examples of it without actually doing it if I can help it. But if I have to, I will. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys vote on which live we're gonna watch Furutsuke of. Do you want to watch Avonchick or
Yeah.
Pentagon?
Avonchick.
Avonchick? Okay. So the thing to focus on is the audience, and that would be kind of an example of Furutsuke. I'll probably show Pentagon as well. They also played this last night as well. Sorry, it's so flashy. So for them, it's a lot of unison headbanging. Some of it's from side to side, some of it's circle, some goes over the railing, which is called Ore Matame. It's like the Tommy mat over the railing. So you move your body over to the beat. That's what they're doing. So I'm going to show you guys Pentagon anyway, because it's a different type of choreography.
おしゃれトリックチョコレートトリック部屋の中だけで隠したリップおしゃれトリックチョコレートトリック犯され続ける時にちょっと見たいきたいものに決まって私をあげるおいすぐ俺に見えるようになれいいか油断してんじゃねえぞ
Okay, so I also have another video of these, I think it's 3 girls doing Juxica at like a karaoke place that they have in Japan where you could just be a banya and just do choreography all day. So I'm going to let you guys choose. Do you want to see Feast Fan Cure or Dessert? Wait, okay. Dessert? Dessert, okay. So that's the Ore Kakame. want to fulfill your like headbanging fantasies, you can go to that place and do all the choreography you want. It's kind of part of a banya culture, which is fangirls usually that are super, super obsessed with a band, so they just follow either that one band or two band or whatever, and they know the choreography and all of that, but that's more for a Visual Kei 102 lesson. Okay, so there are other types of Visual Kei. The only ones I could find was soft visual, which is just old school Tombere bands tone down their visuals, like Lunacy and Jane Dark. I guess During Grey doesn't really fall in that, but they're not visual anymore, but they're super heavy and metal now and very Americanized, and I know some people don't like that, but I still love them, so. And then Urukei, which I don't really see a lot of anymore, which is more medical style, so lots of doctor's jackets and stethoscopes and blood and medical themes. So I have Lulu, which is the one I like the most, so I guess I can show you guys a Lulu PV because we got time. Not do anything. You want to learn about Visual Kei, right?
Yeah.
So that's Lulu. I think they disbanded, which sucks, but they're a pretty awesome band. Just because they broke up, you can still check them out and love them. Okay, so now we got question time. So does anyone have any questions? It can be anything, I swear. I can answer it.
Explain to them about Golden Bomber.
Oh, God. I'll let you do it.
Well, Golden Bomber is a Visual Kei band, but they're considered an air Visual Kei band. They don't actually play their own music, but they go on stage and they put on a really crazy choreographed show. But the music is actually recorded by a different band in the studio. And they actually did an 8-second concert in a row. Like 2 weeks ago. They ran on stage, played for literally 8 seconds, and they're back on stage. And that was really cool. But they're really fun.
Golden Bomber is an experience, so you just have to look it up for yourself, pretty much. Unpopular opinion, don't particularly care for them. But I know of them. I know them, yeah.
But they're not my favorite.
Yeah. I like that one song that everybody likes.
Yeah, wow. But like, I don't know, there's just something, I think it's just because they're different, because they don't do any of their own stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently they can play it, they just don't.
So if you're curious who this band is, it's the Candy Spooky Theater. They do a lot of Halloween-themed music. I don't think I have any of their videos on my hard drive that I know of. I could look, but that would take some time. Are there any other questions or suggestions? Yes.
Are the Scandinavian Visual Kei bands actually considered Visual Kei in Japan?
Possibly. I'm not sure. Because I know, I'm going to say his name wrong. Yuhio? Yeah, okay. I know he has like a following in Japan, so. But it,
Anyone likes him, like the Visual Kei artists don't like him.
yeah. I think it's kind of overtaken by like Western bands, so it's kind of hard to tell what Japan thinks of them. Maybe when I go to Japan, I'll ask a bunch of people, what do you guys think of these guys? Do you consider the Visual Kei? I guess maybe Visual Kei inspired, I suppose. I guess it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to drop the dreaded K word, K-pop. When Western people do K-pop music and it's like, this is not K-pop, it's just pop, and you're just throwing really bad Korean in it. They don't consider it K-pop. Most Western bands don't consider it K-pop, so maybe it's the same thing with Visual Kei and when Western bands do it. They're just Visual Kei inspired. Yes, in the back.
Do you have any manga or recommendations? Because I read a really good manga about a boy who's aspiring to be in a Visual Kei band. Do you know what I mean? It was really good.
There's, okay, this isn't Visual Kei, but Nana, that's one. One of my best friends gave to me as a birthday gift because she thought it reminded her of me, which is Othello.
I already read it.
All right, there you
It's
go.
really good. If you guys are interested in reading about it, it's really good.
Trying to think of some more. I read a lot of manga. I work at a library, so I read a lot. Does anyone else have any like suggestions, manga suggestions with Visual Kei probably influences? 'Cause I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'd have to actually like pull up my list and pick through it.
Well, you guys should really read Othello because it's like one of my favorite mangas ever. It's very emotional, very deep, and sweet.
It's a pretty good one. I like it too. I think they mentioned Piro in it too. Piro? I think they mentioned Piro in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a really long time
It's been
since
a
I've
while
read
for
it.
me too. It's more like a preteen kind of manga, but
Yeah.
it's very
Well, Piro is a really awesome band. They're not together, but they recently did a tour with Darren Gray, which I hated that I could not be there for. Currently, I'm just gonna blab out information that's just floating in my head because I follow people. One of the guitarists, IG, is in LMC, which I already said is going to be at Anime Fest in Dallas. Kirito and Kota, his brother, and Takio, the drummer, are in Angelo. And I'm missing someone. June is in Albino, which I can't get into. So pretty much I follow Angelo because I love Kirito too much. He's too precious for this world. Any other questions?
Kind of taking in on your mom question, the wallflower, like a lot of her stuff is inspired by Kyoto. Moving heroes with like guys. And it's worked for me.
The Wallflower. Is that an author?
It's a manga.
Oh, it's a manga.
So the Wallflower, guys. That's a really good one, too. I totally forgot about that. Check out the Wallflower. It's an older manga.
That's okay. I really like those.
And it's
They have an anime, too, but I like the manga a little bit more. Yes, with a mask. No. Sadly, no. Sad, yes. Yeah. I think, let's see. Darren Gray is like my first love. That's how I got doomed into this stupid genre, and Miyabi. So when they toured with Korn for the Family Values tour, and they released "Agitated Screams of Maggots," yes, that's a real song. Warning whether you watch the uncensored version or not, because it's quite insane if you're not familiar with Darren Gray's work. That's why I didn't include them in here, unless it's like a live, because I'm like, I don't know, guys. This might turn into an 18-plus panel, because trigger warning. But it sounds very much like Korn, like a lot. Clever Sleazoid a little bit too, but I still enjoy them. They kind of experiment with their sound with each album, I think, which is one thing I like. I kind of compare them to Dreaded L Word, Linkin Park, where fans kind of broke off and they're like, I like the old stuff more. I can't with the new stuff. But I've just kind of stuck with them. I kind of came in with Withering to Death, and I went backwards, and then I went forward. So, any other questions? Yes?
I feel like every band is disbanding. Why is that? The industry of this. It's a lot of it's
Yeah.
industry, not the bands themselves.
K-pop can't really make money in Korea. Surely they
Yeah, K-pop, the reason why K-pop goes to Japan a lot is that's where the money is, and Korea doesn't really give them a lot of money. That's a totally different panel.
I was thinking it works for that, they can flip it.
Yeah. But Visual Kei is such like a niche genre now. I mean, it used to be like mainstream-ish. And, yeah.
So if you are with the Visual Kei genre, then you don't get the big labels and all that. So that's why a lot of them step away from the Visual Kei name, is because of that.
Gotta go where the money goes, but... And then you're also depending on, I guess, the fan interaction stuff in stores, and taking pictures and handshakes and other little interactive things they have in Japan. So it would just be J-Rock.
It's pretty much like what the Gazette did. That's
Yeah.
stepping away from Visual Kei, you just check it out.
Yeah. I mean, the people that step away from Visual Kei, I think they still retain like a little bit of Visual Kei-ness to their sound or aesthetic. So, because like looking at like current Dern Gray pictures, they still do like the makeup, and occasionally she just slips into a dress, and I'm like, yes, come back. But I'm a dye fanatic, so anytime his hair is like red or blonde, I'm just living. They're doing a bunch of stuff as well, which worries me because they're old men, and I'm just like, slow down, guys. You don't have to do everything. But I could totally make a whole panel for Dern Gray, sadly. Any other? I'll bring all my DVDs and everything and be like, we're just gonna watch these the whole day. Go through the whole catalog. We'll start with Lesadies era with Kasaki as basis. Yeah, because I do have some Lesadies stuff. I'm like, Toshi, you did not exist. We want Kasaki right now. So, but I'm glad he did not stick around. Phantasmagoria is awesome, even though it's a whole nother discussion there with Kasaki and how I feel about him. And Undercode. Kasaki is God. Any other questions? Okay. And I go to the next slide, which is how you can support the artist. So my number one go-to is CD Japan. You can rack up points with each purchase, and it also goes toward the artist, and it goes toward the Oricon charts, which is kind of like the Billboard charts. You can also buy anime, J-pop, music, and K-pop. Yeah. There's figures and all sorts of things. There's magazines. That's where I got these last 3 magazines there. So I got those, actually those last 4. These 2 are super old. But you can buy them there. And they're pretty good. Their shipping is very, very quick. You can also get bonus stuff from them if you pre-order stuff pretty early. I forgot that I had bonus stuff in the package I had with these magazines from a Lynch album and something else. I think it's like a sticker or a postcard or something. But they give you posters and whatnot, but they only have a limited amount of it. Yes, Asia is another place you can buy J-Rock, but it's a little more expensive than CD Japan because I think they import it, and I think that's why it's more expensive. Yes, Asia is a little bit better for other things that are not from Japan. I get a lot of K-pop and Korean hip-hop stuff. Sorry. I have not converted. I am so loyal to Visual Kei. K-pop, I came in for the music, I stayed for the drama. Brand X is another website you can buy Visual Kei and J-Rock. Sometimes if the artist you're looking for in CD Japan isn't on there, you probably have to go to Brand X. So, let's see. So like Dessert sometimes, or Dada Roma. Trying to think of some more. Yes, sometimes Avon Chick and Harley Quinn. Like the newer Visual Kei bands that are now popping up and getting really popular, sometimes their stuff is exclusively there and they don't show up on CD Japan, which kind of sucks. I think recently they now put in an English version of their site, so it's a little easier to navigate, because when I first started using it, I don't really buy from them too often, but it was quite the challenge to figure out how to place an order when your Japanese is very, very limited, because you only know Japanese from Gax Vanilla. So, glad you liked the joke. Closet Child is another place you can buy. It's mostly secondhand J-Rock stuff, but I mean, it's something. It's from Japan as well. I bought something from them, the Born's first album and Dula Quartz's best album and some other stuff. So the rarer, older stuff is nice to get from there because it's pretty much the only way you're going to get it because it's sold out in old, but they have newer stuff on there as well. Of course, official band sites are a great place to get stuff because some band sites will offer international shipping. Otherwise, you can do, I guess, the bottom option, which is shopping services, which is, they have Facebook groups for shopping services and other places, other social media places where you can find someone and they'll be like, I'm attending, I guess, let's say Avon Chicks Live in Japan. If you want me to get such and such thing, let me know. I'll get it. I'll ship it to you. So you can do that. They usually, most sellers have like, kind of like eBay and Amazon, like their ratings of whether they're good shopping services or not. Chaotic Harmony Imports, which is actually here at this convention. They're the ones responsible for bringing Avon Chick, and they also gave me these bookmarks, so if you want to pick up their stuff. They have a lot of stuff there. I've bought quite a few things. They brought Meteoroid and Shanty last year, so they have stuff from them as well, even though Meteoroid is broken up, but it's okay. They have their other band, Green, stuff as well. So if you don't get your Avon Chick swag here, you can get it on their website because they have stuff there, and some other bands as well, like Lynch and Alistine and Sug and Sads. There's a bunch of, and they keep adding more and more bands onto their site as well. And they have checkies, if you know what those are. They're this little Polaroid stuff that the bands take off stage for fun because they're cute, and some of them you can get signed and some of them you can get unsigned. And then they have the checky books, so you can put all your Polaroids in there too. Rare Hats, which is also at this convention, they sell secondhand stuff as well, but they also have, I think they recently started signing bands, or not really signing bands, but joining bands to sell their products. So I don't remember the band that they're promoting at this convention. It's Honey something. But they're here in the vendor's room as well. They also do trades, so if you're looking for hard to find stuff or things you've been looking for, but people are like, I got too much Visual Kei and J-Rock, I just want to like give it away, you'll just send it to them. And they also do auctions, I think every week or every other week or something like that. So you can buy like a bunch of CDs for really cheap. They're really inexpensive and it's nice. And also anime conventions and lives, you can always get stuff from there, which also supports the artists, just like any other band you go see live, that helps them out. Let's see. So, shameless self-promotion time. So I run a blog called Muddy Cult. I don't know if anyone gets that reference. It's from a song by Nega, which I am not showing the PV because it's totally inappropriate. That's the link to my website. It's super, super long, but you don't have to memorize it because I have cards. So you can just look at the card and just go to the site. So I do reviews of movies, music, anime, manga. I now do comic books. Occasionally I post videos, so I do have a YouTube channel, which is that thing there, the Miaviaz Duro 18. I'm trying to get better at posting, so bear with me. I'm in a transitional period. I'm trying to get my Patreon going together to do more giveaways. So I also do giveaways. So if you weren't here last year and you love Shanty and Meteoroid, I'm giving away signed things from them. Also, if you didn't make that Pentagon concert, giving away stuff from them as well that are signed. Also, if you like Disacode, Gotcha Rock Spin, and Asuchia, I have autograph items by them as well, and many, many more to just give away to you guys because you guys are awesome and you made it to my panel and I love you guys. I also do cosplay, which you can see at the bottom. I did my boy Die, OG husband right there. And you can check out Anti-Prince Cosplay on my Facebook. So that's my Facebook page, so you can see all my awesome J-Rock cosplays. And I also do other cosplay other than J-Rock too. I also work for a site called Treasure Box Press. That's the site there. They focus more on Japanese pop culture stuff. A lot of J-Rock Visual Kei stuff as well, and occasionally they are doing giveaways as well. So Muddy Cult is my personal site, which is just anything from East. So there's K-pop, there's Korean hip-hop, there's J-pop, there's stuff from Taiwan and China and Japan. But so it's just East meets West stuff. So that's my shameless self-promotion. I have Cure magazines, a Rock and Read, and a Shocks. One of these Cure magazines I'm actually in, which is this one, because I need to build my ego every now and then. So if you want to look at this one, I'm in here. I'm also in another copy of Cure, but I did not bring it. And like I said earlier, I have bookmarks from Chaotic Harmony, so check out their table, because they're selling Avon Chick stuff. And also the Rare Huts table. They didn't tell me to promote them, but you should check them out because they're awesome. And I have business cards, so if you want to follow me on social media or my blog, they're on there. I guess, are there any other last-minute questions? Okay, well, I'm going to just randomly play stuff, and you guys can just chill out here. You can talk, look at the magazines. It's all good. So I'm just going to play some random.